Welcome to Andy's How I Did It channel. Today we're going to take a look at one of the best 2K IP security cameras on the market, and I'm going to show you how I mounted it to a huge boat. Stick around to the end and I'll show you just how good this zoom actually is. I've got all the links down in the description below, so let's get started. I went to a local hardware store and picked up a 2-foot by 4-foot piece of 3/8" starboard and some 2-inch 1/4 by 20 stainless steel screws, washers, and lock nuts for this project. After tracing out the template, I took a jigsaw to cut out the backer plates. Then I went to my bench grinder to finish off the edges after having rounded them with the scroll saw. Then I drilled the holes into the plates with a drill press and finally sanded the edges to make them all smooth. Next, I assembled everything together to dry fit it before I got on the boat and had to make adjustments without having all of my tools. I put a link in the description below to the 1.875-inch clamps to secure this thing to the boat. These things are so sturdy, I think you could probably run this into a tree and they still wouldn't fall off. Most of the time when I install these cams, I run the wire through a hole in the structure. But in this case, the wire has to come out to go to the back of the PoE Plus router for connectivity. For that, I have to cut a hole in the gasket and run a cable through, which you see me doing here. You can install these cameras without a DVR and use them, but you'll need a PoE Plus switch if you don't want to be forced to run separate power and Ethernet. I'm gonna link to a favorite PoE Plus switch in the description below if you're interested. I'll also throw in a link to this miraculous 2K camera that we're about to look at. I'm taking the brackets that I ordered from Amazon and removing the Allen wrench screws on them so I can place it on the mounting rail on the bridge. I need the top parts of these brackets off so that I can fit it on and mount it when I get up there. You can see that this backer plate's completely waterproof now with just a small hole in the bottom for the cable that comes out to connect back to the router. Now I've got the mounting brackets installed on the backer plate so that I can put it on the rail of the bridge. We're actually installing these in sort of a triangular mount pattern with 2 on the bottom and 1 on the side that you can see is missing in that picture. Next, we're gonna go ahead and put that 3rd clamp on to stabilize the camera and keep the up and down motion from happening. As we finish up this install, I wanna point out that the bolts that I'm using are stainless steel, as are the washers and lock nuts, because there's very harsh conditions out in marine environments and this will prevent them from rusting. We're gonna go ahead and tighten down those Allen wrench head screws that are on the clamps to secure it so that it won't move when we're done. These Lorex PTZ cams are ultimately gonna tie back into a Lorex DVR that's mounted in the bridge of the boat that will help us see all the cameras on the boat at once. Even though I haven't finished wiring it up yet, I wanted to give you a glimpse of what this actually looks like when it's mounted. Now let's go ahead and start taking a look at what these cameras look like from a distance. I'm using my Mavic 2 Zoom drone to show you what the camera looks like when it's mounted to the rail from the outside. You can actually zoom up and you can get kind of a top-down shot that'll show you exactly what the scale of this boat is. Now for reference, these are the Lorex 2K PTZ IP cams that we're using here on the boat. These cameras are weatherproof, they're IP66 rated, and they have an extreme temperature performance that goes all the way to -40 degrees up to 158 degrees Fahrenheit, or -40 up to 60 degrees Celsius. They come with a wall mount bracket and a 100-foot extension cable for you to install, but I love customizing and making my own install cable. These cameras do have a 360-degree continuous panning rotation for complete area coverage, and you can actually get a 200-degree per second pan speed on these. You can control the pan tilt zoom movement and transmit video and power over Ethernet Plus or 802.3 AT over a single network cable, which makes these things super easy to install. You can pre-program preset viewpoints and tours when you have these things connected to an NVR, and you can obviously remote control the camera itself, the pan tilt zoom functionality using a smartphone or a tablet when you have it connected to an NVR. I like to use Lorex Cloud right now. That seems to be one of the best options for controlling these cameras. Another bonus on these is that it does have clear night imaging for improved low light performance and improved recording efficiency. So at night there's infrared lights that will give you a vision range up to 330 feet or 100 meters in total and complete darkness. It also offers a color night vision, which will give you a color nighttime video and improve recognition of objects in low light conditions. So the camera itself has a 4 megapixel Super HD video recording and provides awesome quality for reviewing fine details in heightened resolutions. It's got a powerful 12 times optical zoom and a 16 times digital zoom to focus in even on the finest details. And there's super high definition 4 megapixel image sensor delivers double the detail of regular high definition, the 1080p. And you can see that I'm exercising the zoom on this camera to show you just how far this zoom can go out and in. And then even when you do zoom in, the crisp detail of things like bumblebees. One of the things to note as I zoom in is that these cameras are mounted to a boat, which means that they're not completely fixed. It actually rocks back and forth just a little bit, but that doesn't seem to affect it that much. And finally, you can see this bird that's a whole dock over and how well this camera can zoom in on this avian. And in fact, I'll even digitally zoom it just a little bit more so you can kind of get an idea of this 2K resolution, because this video is shot in 1080p. Now, it's actually pretty clear given the distance and what you can see of the bird. We'll zoom back out a little bit and then watch the bird fly away.
We do a lot of these how I did it videos on this channel, so be sure to check out these other videos here and here. And if you haven't yet, smash that like button and be sure to subscribe if you want to get notified every time I post a new video. Thanks for watching.